The City of Water Valley Monthly Board Meeting, sponsored by Bank First of Water Valley.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, gracious Heavenly Father, just we just want to thank you for this beautiful day that you've given to us, Lord. Lord, we just want to give you all the thanks in the world. Lord, as we go into tonight's session of conducting business for the city, please be with us and make our lead us and guide us in making the right decisions for our city, our town, and our people. Lord, just be with our country and take care of our country for us, and be with the one to seal in our city and county. Lord, we ask this in all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion that the agenda that's before you be approved for the consideration of, and now I would, Vivian, we need to do an addendum
Yes, sir, on the debris.
on the debris it's already authorized.
I've stuck it in here.
All right, so
By the
we'll get it.
But it's for the debris.
Yeah. Well, it's just already. Well, at any rate, is there a motion that the minutes be approved?
Thank you, motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Next, is there a motion that the monthly bills that have been, is there any question on the monthly bills that are before you? If not, is there a motion that they be approved?
I make the motion.
Is there a second?
Hold on. We just approved the minutes, and on the bills, there's a payment to Mike Scroggins, and we were to terminate him.
In 6 months, wasn't it?
But not at the rate that he was paid out.
Not at the rate he was to be paid, you know,
It
it
went
should be
down.
amended if it's,
This is not amended.
That was the time that it was still that amount.
Okay.
That will start this time.
Okay, thank you very much.
all right. All right, is there any further discussion? All right, not all in favor of, was there a motion that the minutes, that the bills be paid? Authorized. Motion, is there a second? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the property for sale. I'm going to recognize our city attorney. And what is the specification of the bid?
Specifications were that we would receive bids by the clerk until 3:00 p.m. on April 7th, 2026, at which time all bids would be publicly read and open aloud. And then we received one bid by that time. We did receive one late.
Do you have that? Would you receive the, would you please go forward and read out the bid that we received?
Yes.
This is the requirement that the houses be built within the 2 years.
Construct not fewer than 10 residential homes upon the property. Each residential structure shall contain not less than 1,200 square feet. Shall be constructed within 24 months, and etc. We have a proposed bid from GTV Properties, LLC, for the 5.63 acres described in notice of sale, published the 17th of February 2026. This bid is contingent on GTV Properties and the City of Water Valley entering into a valid contract that outlines the duties and obligations of each party with respect to developing the property, and the bid price is $101,000.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion that this be taken under advisement?
Make a motion.
Is there a second? All in favor will say aye. All right. Next, we have a,
$101,000 from GTV Properties.
yeah,
Spell it, please.
G is in goat, T is in
Oh, GTG got you.
I think they're-
I thought you said GDG.
all right. Next, we have, and we'll be meeting and we'll consider that. Next, we have item 6, Reggie Ross. This is for the CDBG engineering bids. Is there, and there's scoring sheets on that. I want to, Reggie Ross.
I think he's grading.
He's grading. Well, I would ask that we pass over that item, and when he returns finishing grading, it's a requirement that they be graded. When he returns, that we go back to his place on the calendar. Next, now this is, I'll go over this. The legislature passed House Bill 1646, and this piece of legislation, I believe Section 3 of it, authorizes the borrowing at no interest of monies that have been utilized for debris removal and monitoring. Now, the governor had until midnight to veto it, and I have heard that the clerk of the House, I know, tried to call me on it, but I don't believe he has vetoed it, and I think he will sign it. What we could, but there is a limited amount of money provided for in here, and although it may be enough, it may not. And a lot of times the early bird does get the worm. So now, as I understand the bill, it would provide for no interest, but when FEMA provides you with money, or federal agency provides you with money, if you don't promptly spend it and pay it, then you'll be subject to a 3% rate of interest from that time. So I would think, though, that when we get the money from FEMA, I would believe that we would want to promptly pay that as soon as we get it. I don't know any reason why we would tarry on it. If y'all know of any reason, speak now. That would seem silly to me. So what I would ask you to do is pass a resolution that would authorize the borrowing of the funds necessary to fund the contract that we have for the necessary services that we have, which would be our ER Assist, the debris removal firm, and the monitoring firm, to satisfy those contracts in accordance with the contracts, contingent on the proper enactment of Bill 1646, which authorizes that. And that would let us pay our bills, and we hopefully could be, I would say, let's be first in line. And because, I'm gonna tell you, I think it's gonna be a great sucking sound on that fund, you know, and I think a lot of people, I think we need to get it, because like we signed the highway memorandum of understanding, we signed it quick, and that was a good thing to do, because, you know, sometimes the wedding feast is shut up when the virgins are laid. So we don't want that to happen. Is there, well, that's in the Bible.
That's what I said. It's
I know,
about.
I still got to check on those.
Is there a motion that that I've laid out for you be adopted as a resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Daniel, if you can frame that quickly, I will sign, what I do is I will sign it quickly.
Yes, sir.
And we will get promptly our, if it's were to veto it, we would,
Keep moving on.
we'd keep moving on, but about 12 counties in North Mississippi would have to do the new bankruptcy code, you know. We might be able to avoid it, you know, they're going, I'm sure it's gonna work out. Next, we are very, very pleased to have students from Base Camp, and they are going, and they have been very helpful to the town, to the city already. And Kagan, you know, has worked with y'all and everyone else at Base Camp. But y'all come forward. We want to hear from you. And tell us who you are.
My name is Moses,
My name's Aaliyah. My name is Danny.
and we are students from Base Camp Coding Academy. And we are doing a capstone project, final project every year. And we are working with Miss Laurel. If y'all know.
Laura Matuda.
Yes.
And she said she couldn't be here tonight. She had to meet in Iuka with breaking out that situation, but she extended her
Okay.
thanks and appreciation.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Well, our project is for her. And all these forms that volunteers will sign, we are building that website to make it way easier for her. So we're here to raise awareness about that website so people of Water Valley would put in their volunteer hours, and that would really help the city.
That helps on the 12.5% match, and that saves our tax dollars so that we don't, it saves us. That's a great thing.
Well, at first she wanted us to design it for the recent ice storm that came through, but she also said that it would be good if we could figure out a way to do it where she could use it for other projects and other disasters. So that's currently what we're working on, is to have it tailored towards not just the ice storm, but where she can take it to other counties and other states.
That's great.
And it not only does for the volunteers, for them to be able to submit, it does donations as well. And it has a side that she can use to be able to keep up with all the projects that are being, like, that she's currently working on. So if she has multiple projects that she's working on, she can have all the information, calculation, and analytics for it in one place. So it has like an admin side, and it also has a side for all the volunteers to submit their forms.
Well, that is just outstanding. Is there any questions?
When will the website be live?
We're gonna present it at Base Camp April 29th.
This very month?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well,
April 30th. April 30th.
I think you'll find a very receptive, supportive group here, and I think all over the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What about, you know, I don't want to hurt your project, but why don't we get a picture with, come on, boy, sir, lawyer, come on. If it's all right with y'all. All right.
Oh, I know. She also said that she wanted us to grab a photo that we could put on the landing page for it. Can you pass it on for that?
Yeah.
Let's do something that would work.
One of the students stand in front and we stand.
Yeah, that's a good
That'll
idea.
work, that'll work.
Okay, yeah. Scrunch up rather than being spread across.
Come on, move, we're not scared of attention or anything, come on.
Okay. Nice smiles, everybody. I'm through. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the future is right here now. Thank y'all, thank you so much. Thank you so much, appreciate y'all. Y'all are where it's at. All right, the Main Street report. Well, I know, Reggie.
It looks better than mine.
Yeah, mine too.
Reggie is with North Central Planning and Development District, and he has been there a while, and he's got a resolution, not a revolution.
So resolution to apply, we're going to apply for the 2026
Community Development.
That's right, through
Block
MDA, for potential sewer application for a couple $100,000.
And let me say this, the sewer is the thing that's most likely, it has a high priority. It may not be granted, but it has a higher chance. Everything is scored, and you know, sewer is high on the score.
That's right.
So, is there a motion that the board approve the resolution of approving the submittal of an application for financial assistance under the Mississippi Community Development Block Grant Program, and this would be for sewer needs?
Make a motion.
This motion is, and this is duly seconded. Is a discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now Reggie, we've got other business.
Thank you, board. With this application, there's an engineering procurement process. All five of the Board of Aldermen just witnessed that. Now I'm going to give you the results of that. We had 3 engineering firms to submit proposals. And of those 3, you had the Grenada firm Willis, Cornerstone Engineering of Jackson, and Neil Schaefer engineering firm out of West Point. Willis scored highest of 580 out of the 3, 580, 515, and 505. So Willis scored the highest.
Is there a motion that the highest scoring firm be accepted for engineering?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
That's it.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you, board, so much for
I've got
cooperating.
Luther in your firm is working on the airport grant, so just tell him that we're working on that, and that's a possibility. So if you would make sure I don't want to miss any deadlines.
One phone call away, and thank you so much for
We got a
assisting
few
me.
more applications too.
A lot more where that comes from. That's right. Thank y'all so much.
Okay, thank you, Reggie. Appreciate you. Next, we've got Main Street report. Chris, come forward.
Hey everyone, you should all have my report there. I'll try, since it's sort of long, not to go through every word of it. But we did have the Casey Jones Music Fest a few weeks ago. The weather that y'all ordered came through. It was perfect, thank you. It was a glorious day. It was well attended. I think everybody had fun. Everybody did well. There was great support from the city, from the county, from all the agencies, private individuals. It really was an example of how things can get done when everybody pulls together. So appreciate everything that y'all did. And just a reminder that the sales tax that we collect from all the vendors, 18.5% of that comes right back to Water Valley. So we generate a little income in several ways with that. The work is underway with our ARPA-funded streetscape project. The Mid-South Green has begun work at the northern end of the corridor, and will continue working through down to just south of Blackmer along Main Street. We're excited to have that going. The contract is a 90-day contract, so all work will be completed by June 7th. So happy about that. We continue to work on the Pocket Park renovation project. We have been still trying to figure out how best to do some of the demo work on, if you grew up here, you remember there used to be buildings there. And there's some concrete pads where those buildings used to sit before they burned down. And that concrete has to be demolished and removed before we can begin with the renovation. So we're working on that. We are working still with the Carl Center at Mississippi State University on final design for the Pocket Park renovation. And once we complete all of that work on the renovation, the site will be deeded to the city as per the original agreement when it was purchased last year. Y'all have heard me say a couple of times, I think, that we had a great grant that we lost. We didn't exactly lose it, but in 2023, Water Valley Main Street Association applied for a $130,000 grant through a new program, the Mississippi Main Street Revitalization Program. And we received the $130,000 grant, but then the governor vetoed it, the whole thing, because he had an issue with how some of the funding was going to flow through nonprofit organizations. And so the Mississippi Main Street Association has been working for the last 3 years with the governor, with the legislature, with Mississippi Development Authority to come up with a refined version of that everybody's happy with. And the great news is on March, I think, 26th, the governor signed that bill into law. And so we've got that $130,000 sidewalk grant back. It's something that we're really excited about. We'll work together with the city on the big sidewalk grant for there, but it's nice to see something come back instead of just going away. We've got the wind down coming up this Friday, so if you have ever done that, it's a lot of fun. There's still a few tickets left. Come and join us. And then on the sheet that I've given y'all, you'll see a pretty long piece at the end. Coulter Fussell, who is a long time now Water Valley, and who has written for a long time a column in the North Mississippi Herald, does not really like to shine a light on herself, but she has a solo art exhibit at the Mississippi Museum of Art. This is a huge thing. She has been the subject of a lot of attention. She has gotten solo exhibits at other places, but it's a real mark of the significance of her art that she's got this solo exhibit at the Mississippi Museum of Art in Jackson. Her office is right over there on Main Street. She is a member, she's a board member for Water Valley Main Street Association, does yeoman's work, always says yes, and is a real credit to the town. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that, and if you get a chance to go down to Jackson and see that exhibit, I hope you will. I'll be glad to answer any questions the board may have.
We've discussed it, Chris, about the demolition of that and of the old stage that you want, and I think that could be used for, we have a statute, Daniel, about erosion control that we have a lot of places in town where there is a need for material for erosion. That would be a lot, and if we could utilize some of the different equipment that we have to do it, assuming feasibility thereof, then that could be, that could cut your expense down.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
We could get the riprap for that. And people, we need to do what we can. Now, we hope our $4.5 million flood grant is going to work, but you know, you don't, it has been announced as approved, but we don't, the good is not the enemy of the perfect. I mean, we do what we can while we're there.
Yeah, so the 21-19-13 is a state statute that allows city municipalities to fight erosion inside its city limits, and so it gives us broad authority on incurring expenses and costs related to fighting the erosion. And so the mayor's saying he's going to try to work with the street department to identify several of the places around town, and then the Main Street Association has some riprap that they're willing to donate that we can go towards that erosion control. So
they can, and it will ultimately be deeded to the city. And if you have a place for the splash pad.
That's right.
All right. Now, so we understand that Main Street's critical to the economic health and viability of the town. So,
we all pull together. If anybody has any questions, contact me anytime.
Hang together, all hang separately.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next. All right.
Planning Commission.
Planning Commission plan.
Thank you, Mayor. One item really, and then a question for the board. I've submitted a draft of a variance written to allow for an agribusiness thing to go on Highway 7 south of town. It's zoned R1. It's right by Crawford Sports Complex. I think you should have in your packet a copy of what I've submitted. It's it's a little bit less than 5 acres, just south of Crawford Sports Complex. And the gentleman wants to have a U-pick farm there, with berries and pumpkins and various seasonal things. We zoned R1, so I've drafted a variance for him to allow him to have an agribusiness there.
And that's probably in the flood too.
Yes, it is. All that stuff is zoned R1, but it's all in the floodplain.
So you probably couldn't do residence and business. It would be impractical.
It's been being used as agricultural probably for 50 years.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
That's what, and it makes pretty good, as a farm boy, it makes pretty good.
And the variance is I've drafted it, if that agribusiness ceases, then it reverts back to R1.
Well, I mean.
The business or ownership of that lot?
The business, if the business, yeah. I mean,
well, if it ceases to be utilized for the purpose that you granted, then I think that would be a better way. Then it would revert to
R1.
R1.
Right.
So, sort of a reverter. It'd be automatically. And that's automatically a reverter happens like that. You know,
so we're recommending that y'all approve this variance. He's already made use of the land. In fact, there he is right there. He had Easter egg hunts last week. They're highly successful. I was there with my grandchild, and lots of fun.
I support that.
Yeah, and he wants to have educational events there, like how to make jam out of the berries and stuff like that. It's a great idea. Wonderful thing to have down there by the Sportsplex.
Stop these late frosts. But anyway, is there a motion that this variance be approved?
I make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have a question. Several months ago, we submitted a draft of a new ordinance for signage to go on property that's being considered for rezoning, and it's kind of been in limbo since then. If it needs to be redrafted, we'll be glad to do that. So I don't know, just something needs to happen on it. So let me know.
Okay.
Let me know.
Yeah, that's not a hill to climb there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next we get the Historic Preservation Committee.
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
I've got a short report. We had a special meeting, 16 Main Street. Mike Mitchell is the owner of the building. The new business is Cattywampus Vintage, owned by Jen Barker. We did a sign, hand painted by Bill Warren, and so we said yes all around, and then it got painted the next day, I think. So it's up there, and Cattywampus Vintage. Cattywampus. So she sells vintage clothing and jewelry. So, any questions?
We need more.
Yeah, more. We're gonna get something in your building, Mayor. All right, thank you so much.
Go work on it. Next, we got a lot of projects. Next, we need the Park and Civic Commission, Parks and Recreation.
I didn't get it on there.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Good
Robert.
evening to you all.
Thank
All right,
you.
I got several things we want to cover tonight. One, let's talk about the Civic for a little bit. We have formed a Friends of the Civic nonprofit. They have secured their 501c3. We're waiting for them to get their tax ID. That has not come through just yet. They are going to be a purely event-driven group, so they're going to be the ones to go out and actually get events to come in. So Civic is still falling under the Park Commission. We'll be still be setting the prices and collecting the money and all that, but they are going to be driving that to get events there. We've got a great space. We just need people to use it. They measured for a screen, projector screen this week. It should be maybe 6 to 8 weeks to have that installed, and we're really looking forward to having basically a movie screen in town. First time in quite some time. Also, we believe there's enough money left over in the grant for new stage lighting, so we're getting very, very high tech up there. Couple things on the park. We're gonna need some guidance from y'all for the next steps with the park director and all. So, Tommy, I don't know if I want to.
Well, I tell you what you could do if you want. You could advertise for the position if you want to, and then consider application and make a recommendation to the board.
Yeah. Well,
I have an old
you
job
sent it
description.
to
I
me.
couldn't remember if I did
It was
or
very
not.
specific to Crawford, and what we're looking to do is to expand
Something
that.
on the whole park
Correct.
and recreation.
And we are also wanting to expand that, and I know budgetary reasons, considerations to be a full-time, because we've got a lot of parks. Doing Crawford is almost a full-time job in and of itself. So that's
You
something.
have somebody at Crawford and the other park?
No.
Just one person?
We had just one person that I believe was just part-time.
Well, the parks are very important to this community, and we don't have the funds to maintain the parks that we've got in the fashion that we need to, unfortunately. And but we certainly need as many youth as we have to participate in others. We need.
I just need some guidance from y'all on the next steps on that.
I don't want to. I would think that a good procedure would be. If too quickly advertised, y'all could meet, maybe a special meeting or whatever.
We're having an emergency meeting tomorrow night.
Come forward with
commission.
a advertisement notice.
It's being
place
worked
it in
on
the
by
paper,
BNF.
and then I would publish it at least twice. And then
He is working on that because we've got a lot of things to get in a row.
well,
for
you've
the
got
rest
the
of
baseball season, and that has to be.
And she is staying, she's going to continue to help us with that to keep that moving forward. We are going to be asking additional parents and potentially board members as well for help with that, because that season has to continue and it has to be successful.
And the bathroom where we.
Well, that was the other thing I was bringing to y'all tonight, to ask for the money that we do have in Crawford, the Crawford bank account to go towards.
Yeah, now I know you got $1,250 that is for
Yes, sir.
that
Right.
private donation for that.
We have right around
11 something, a little less than 12. But we've also got lighting issues out down there.
We do. That needs to be dealt with.
It does, and it's gotten worse.
And let me say this now, I'm gonna tell you, ultimately, we need a stable revenue source like everyone else has for the parks.
We do.
For recreation.
Hence a good park director to help us with that.
You do.
Anyway, we are having that meeting tomorrow to review everything that we as a commission need to do moving forward. Offboarding, I'm assuming y'all are going to do that stuff, turning in.
Yeah, I think that'll be handled, that's the way that would need to work. And now, is it y'all's understanding, I think when park commission's appointed to do parks, and so they would propose, advertise, solicit advertisement, then make recommendation or recommendations to this board, and you could approve it or reject it. Does that sound about the way that needs to work?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, well, that's what it'll be.
All right.
The meeting tomorrow, 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock at the Civic. Yep. So we've got the bathrooms covered. That's good. They're being fixed. It was this week, my understanding.
Bathrooms as well as some of the plumbing.
Yeah.
It should be there this week to have that fixed. We've got here and there, Steve. All right, the urinal is taken care of. Yes.
We're just waiting, he said he'd do it Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, well, I mean, when the first thing somebody sees, well, not the first thing, but one of the things people see when they come to the sports complex is the bathroom facility. And a poor bathroom facility, you have a poor idea of this town if that happens. So, and one thing, we need to, of course, get these things fixed, but then I know, Robert, it's your concern and mine that there be cleaning in a regular schedule of that. And not to get in the weeds, but I appreciate y'all doing that.
So the other update I was wanting to give was concerning the city website. So as you know, we have released that out into the world. We are getting some decent traffic on that. I have reached out to a few folks for additional information, setting up emails and whatnot with temporary passwords. So I need to know who else needs an actual city website or city email address. So I've set everyone up for the board. So Demetrius, Herbie, I haven't heard from y'all yet, but to get y'all set up on that. I know Grant's got his, Joe. Tommy, you're on the list too. I've got yours set up. So a couple of things that we've done. Let me pull up from my list here of what you can do on there now. Working with Will this week, you can now submit a request for a building permit online. It is a bit of a manual process, but you can submit. He will get it. He will start the process. So there's no tracking him down, trying to call him. Tons of contacts, city departments, phone numbers, emails. I've also set up a content management system. So at some point with someone here at City Hall, you will be able to add articles, documents, meetings, tag documents to meetings such as agendas, meeting minutes, whatever the case may be. So I know y'all are going to need some training on that, and we need to get that set up so that y'all know how to do it. So I've written the tools, y'all are just going to have to use it.
Okay. So we appreciate what you've done, Robert. I mean, you have, without compensation, he has done a tremendous amount of work and spent a tremendous amount of hours on this. The ordinances are there, the codes are there, and it helps people that want to do business in Water Valley to know. We sort of have gotten in maybe some of the 21st century on that.
It's, a couple other things about it. It's full ADA compliant. So as a government website, there are certain rules we had to adhere to on that. So going through that, let me see if there's any other highlights to talk about on there. You search for Water Valley now, it is one of the top hits to Water Valley, Mississippi, or Water Valley City Hall, or whatever the case may be. I do need someone to help me take control of the Facebook page, or the Google business. Sorry, not Facebook page, the Google business. Right now, when you search for it, you get one of the accompanying pictures. The primary pictures is some person squatted down.
That's probably a problem.
It is. And the number that's associated with is here at City Hall, and I need somebody. right. So I need to set up a time to come here, and we can do a verification with that phone number. But
I think that'd be the best thing.
Someone will have to answer. They're going to give you a code. I put that code in, and then I can take control of that. And
could we transfer the city Facebook page to it?
So,
I'm just trying to think.
Well, this is just it's a Google business page. So when you search for Water Valley, it's usually what you see on the search results, kind of on the right side, and we'll have pictures. Like we will use city content. It looks like somebody put personal content up there that probably whoever did this the first time. So we need to get that off there. It looks bad.
It's paid. All the people are paying for it.
Yeah.
So
Needs to be. So anyway, for the folks that reached out to about email addresses, please get back to me so we can get those set up, and then give you the list. You can do that. I've got a few other folks that I've been working with the commission, like the Utilities Commission, to get theirs set up as well. So
bills paid, codes looked at, just general way of how to get the necessary permits that you need.
And then for next steps, I just need to know from the city, what else would y'all be looking for? You know, a lot of this is just what I feel we need.
We do, and whatever we can do that's expeditious and everybody can agree to, which I think would be many things, I think we'd want to pursue. But I appreciate really this is we've come a ways on that in I think a pretty short time. So, anybody with any questions, Robert? Well, we just have appreciation, Robert, and we ought to double your salary, which is 0 to 00. But he is like all these other board and commissioners. All right, Utility Commission.
Thank you, sir.
And also, Daniel, on that resolution now, we're
Yes,
going, on the 1646, we're going to have all the city, that's going to embrace all the city departments, so that'll embrace utilities, that'll embrace police, fire, it'll embrace any city department that suffered storm damage.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank y'all for that. I'm going to try to be brief. The mayor said we didn't have to take long tonight, so I'm going to try to adhere to that. A couple of things, just a list with you, because I don't think we have, because we reported every month for the first 6 months, and then we followed it quarterly. So hadn't really talked a lot since the ice storm. So let me give you a brief update and just an overview for y'all and for the public. First of all, Jim McClure started with us full-time on March 1st. He's been doing a great job ever since then as our general manager. Really gotten his feet on the ground and been very, very good in response to customers, and a lot of good things going on. Checklists of stuff that we've just had sitting there waiting to get done that needed some day-to-day supervision that he's providing that's making a lot of difference. On the ice storm right now, current bills in the door are $1,700,000 at abouts. That will be a large chunk, not as big as honestly was anticipated in the beginning, but it's still a good share that we will be ended up paying. Of course, we appreciate y'all adding us into the application process for the 0% interest. A lot of that is going to be poles and wires and things that went on to get power restored immediately. The other thing that the commission approved this week was $800,000. It's $770,000. I'm going to say 800 because there's always going to be something added in there of permanent repairs that will be done to the electric system that are directly attributable to the ice storm. Those are poles that we found after the ice storm when you could get back out and start servicing that had damage. Wire, some of the old copper wire, a lot of the old copper wire that as y'all know dates back almost 100 years old. In the middle of that storm when it's 5 degrees and you're trying to get power back on, you do what you have to that is a temporary fix. If it had been sunny and not affect people, you'd have made a different choice at the time. We met with Laurel with ER Assist to make sure that any of these type of repairs that are going on a permanent nature fall under the FEMA guidelines so that we can be assured, assuming you get your FEMA funding, that you've got 12.5% cost in those. She assured us they did, and we're moving forward with that. That'll be about $800,000, which we'll be on the hook for 12.5% of it at the end of the day, not counting what the good base camp students, and thank y'all for what you're doing in the documentation, because that counts directly toward everybody's 12.5%. So what they're helping us document actually saves taxpayer money on that 12.5% side. But we're moving forward with those. One thing we corresponded with the mayor and the city attorney about today was continuing emergency declaration to make sure that we're following the purchasing guidelines in this period. The reason we bring that up to you is our FEMA period, our kickoff meeting is the 14th, and that gives 60 days after the 14th to do all of this work and have it wrapped up. It has to occur within that 60 days, and so we want to make sure we're, most importantly, following the law, but secondly, we're getting this done within the time frame that FEMA requires to be done. We feel confident of that. We have an existing contract that the commission let back in the fall for electric line construction. We went out to the market and said who would come in and bid if you have to have work done of that nature. Never anticipating an ice storm, thank God we did it, because we can utilize that contract now that's already bid out. The only thing we'll be looking for is a procurement of supplies and materials that will fall outside the regular procurement process. But that is that's ongoing. That includes 137 poles being replaced during this in this $800,000 permanent. I want to make sure I get this language right. Permanent repair that has to be done, and various and sundry other things. But that will be a big project. MDR, which is one of the construction firms that was in here, you saw working during the ice storm, actually was the winner of that bid back in the fall before the ice storm. So it'll be that group back in doing that work, and they know they got a tight time frame to get that done. But these are repairs that are a result and appropriately can be filed under FEMA. One little thing that just throw out to you is just some point of interest. Many of y'all interfaced with our Hometown Grid app during the ice storm. Bradley Hill, I think, told you that saved us at least a day of time on restoration. We just got the report in the last couple of weeks. That application for right around $500 conducted 12,000 plus text conversations back and forth with customers, and that's 12,000 separate text conversations and telephone calls, all during that period that did not necessitate a call to 911 or a call to others. So performed extremely well at a very, very low cost, and that's just a little nugget we're going to throw out to you. Also, pole inspections have started. We've tried to put the word out on that. If you have constituents ask you about it, there's 4 gentlemen. They all are appropriately dressed as utility workers. Are going all around the city, tagging every pole, inspecting every pole, and making sure that we are, while we're there, we're looking at all the different attachments that are on the pole. We'll also be taking note for the final report of where every street light is. We're not looking at what kind of street light's there, but whether the pole has a light on it or not. What we're trying to build in that process is something that lasts a long 35, 40 year time frame, so that the city always will have an automatic map that tells you where every pole is, and that means we'll have to put them on the map when we add a pole. But that is something that's going to be highly valuable. Thanks to the money the mayor worked hard to get from the legislature, we're able to use. It's going to cost about $100,000 of the money that's dedicated for broadband deployment, but we have checked the boxes legally to make sure that can be spent that way, and that's a good expenditure of that fund, and that's going to be rapidly done on that. LED lighting conversions. If you go up Central Street now, we're continuing to add street lights, but we're also taking streets at a time, where we have manpower and dodging calls and taking care of other problems, to go streets at a time to do LED conversions. These are not only savings to taxpayers, they add more light, they look cleaner, and we're able to get a rebate from TVA that Mr. McClure is working on, where about 1/3 of that cost comes back. So we approved, I think it was $27,000 in light purchases, and then 1/3 of that will come back. We're trying to bite that off, y'all, in a chunk at a time, just so we're kind of be studious about the dollars and don't get too far ahead of ourselves and have too much inventory laying around. But that's working out well, and it's going to be an additive. Also, we were awarded $1 million from the Mississippi Development Authority for the Grid Resiliency Grant. That is a state level grant program. We were able to use, again, legislatively appropriated money to match $436,000. So it'll be a $1,436,000 project. That will all go to work on the transformer on Gore Circle. Every bit of it will, to upgrade that, to get a modern technology service down there, whereby electric department personnel can look at any time and see what needs to be done, how that is functioning, and we would get early warning signs if things are going wrong down there. Right now, as you might guess, it's manually operated, but we're going to move that into a much more modernized and efficient system. Also, the work going on down there will be to, and I don't want to bore you with details, but I hadn't seen you in 3 months before these board meetings, so let me tell you this real quick, is to have automatic voltage regulation. You ask, what in the world is that? Right now, we have to manually go in and adjust the voltage in the city as demand ebbs and flows. That causes a lot of waste of electricity, which ends up costing us money because you're paying the Tennessee Valley Authority for it, but it never reaches a home or a business to be built because you're having to go in and do that. This will also, this $1,436,000 will go toward automatic, and that's what every modern utility system has, where essentially the computer senses the load and adjusts as it needs to be. It's a very, very big step. These are the kind of things somebody's asked me the other day about these grants you get and these sort of things. I don't see it. It's like if you're running a business, you got to have, Joe, at the coffee shop, you got to have or a cooler for your materials. If the cooler goes out, maybe nobody sees the antifreeze or the Freon going back in there and all the repairs, but you got to have it for your business to operate. That's kind of what we're dealing with, is stuff in the kitchen, stuff in the attic that has to be fixed. It's not bright, it's not shiny, it's not pretty, but if it's not fixed, then we're going to have problems delivering service. So this is a lot of stuff that's kind of in the weeds and mechanical, but it's vitally, vitally important to how we keep the system running. And we're very proud of what they've been able to do. On the water side, let me mention a couple of things. We want to publicly thank David Floyd, who retired from the water department at the end of March. Nobody was nicer during the period of transition than David was, and provided a lot of help and a lot of ideas for savings, and we sure wish him well in the future. The commission has appointed Jason Russell as the interim superintendent for water right now, and that we have he began that role yesterday in keeping tabs on the work that needs to be done within the water department and pursuing certifications on water and sewer. In the meantime, we have met, I think now 4 times, with the Mississippi Rural Water Association, which is a statewide trade organization that is in place to assist small cities and small departments in making sure not only they stay in compliance, but they look at ways in which to save money and to make things better. And they were here exactly today, and we're going to continue to have that relationship with them as we build back up the staff and add into new efficiencies and new programs. One of the things that came out of that, those meetings, and Mr. Floyd brought up to us also, we looked into, and your clerk, Ms. Vivian, was very, very nice to help us pull these things. There's been about $70,000 a year of costs that have been incurred by the water department over time dealing with treating the lagoon for the smell that was present when the chicken plant was operating. The chicken plant's been long gone. And so those chemicals, we have met with Mississippi Rural Water. They've talked to the Department of Environmental Quality. There's no need for those to go back in there because you don't have that waste going into the lagoon anymore. And so that will save about $70,000 a year off the bat. The other thing is, we are the old permit when the chicken plant was operating necessitated weekly testing, because you got a lot of materials going into that lagoon that had to be tested. That can be rolled back to 1 time a month under the existing permit, 1 time a month. And that doesn't necessitate any change whatsoever. It's just the fact that we don't have those chemicals or those materials going into that lagoon anymore. So we've asked Rural Water today. I stepped in for the meeting for a minute. Mr. McClure had it, to work with the Department of Environmental Quality and work with Department of Health and ensure that, one, we're meeting every compliance requirement that is there. We've got to do that. That's not a question. But we also don't do things just because that's the way we've done them, especially when we've got costs associated related to $70,000, for instance, for chemicals to keep a smell down that it's not the chemicals causing the smell, the material causing the smell in there anymore. So we're going to right size what we're doing in that area to make sure, number one, we're compliant with the permits, but at the second time that we're not overspending money on things that aren't necessary anymore. And that'll be all up to snuff with what the Department of Environmental Quality projects and the testing vendor that we have now. But that's going to end up being a net savings. On the CDBG grant, I know y'all had that in process before water and sewer came over to us. So we'll just, if it's all right with y'all, we'll just accept. We'll take what y'all did tonight and ratify it, so we can go forward on the CDBG. We did meet with Mr. Carl, good Lord, what's his name? Grubb. Yeah. Carl Grubb, and had him brief the commission on the entire water and sewer system needs and a big look at it. One of the things he asked us to do in that process was to come up with what type of project we need for that CDBG, and his recommendation was that we increase the transmission line going into the lagoon. There's a bottleneck there now, so there'll be a bigger line going into the lagoon. Secondly, work our way back from there into the city, looking at infiltration of groundwater, rainwater. Some people may have their gutters on their house piped into the sewer, so that we get that number down as we're taking in a lot of just groundwater and rain into the sewer system. That's going to involve relining it. So the idea for the $600,000 grant would be, first of all, to increase the capacity going into the lagoon. Secondly, is to, once you get to that point and you're working back into the system, you look at what is most needed for relining those sewer pipes to keep that water out. How do you get to that? You've got to smoke the sewer lines to know where all of the leaks are. So the meeting today was to set April the 15th. We can all remember that. It's tax day. We'll start in certain areas on the south end of town smoking all of those lines. So don't call the fire department. Your house won't be on fire. It will be, and we'll get out appropriate stuff in the paper and Facebook and others. But that is the necessary work that's got to go in to identify where we go apply for the money for. We need to do that anyway. So we've got a strategic plan every year of what we're doing to reline sewer pipes with grant money or without. So that will begin on April the 15th. Last thing on water and sewer real quick. You know, we've talked about it, and I think we're all aware of the issues related to our metering system now. That metering system does not sync up for water with electricity or anything else. It has to be manually read, which takes 2 to 3 weeks across the city. And we saw in the ice storm what happens when you have to do that and you've got a natural disaster that hits and gets us delayed, which threw the billing cycle off. The commission voted to ask Willis Engineering to go out and prepare the appropriate bid specifications to look at what a cost of a new automated system for water meter reading would be that would sync with the electric so that those could work together and we would be able to either do a drive-by reading where you still drive in the neighborhoods, or it could be automatically read. We want to learn from the mistakes in the past on the infrastructure, and so we've asked Mississippi Rural Water, our engineering firm, and our existing staff that when those come in, assuming that we're able to be able to find a way to fund that we make a qualitative decision based on performance of those meters and that vendor if we move forward with that. That's going to be about an $800,000 project. We think there's some grant money that could be available that would pay half of it, and then of course you would pay the other half through regular fees. Sanitation is the last thing I'll bring up. We appointed David Chandler as the superintendent of sanitation. He's done an excellent job, an absolutely excellent job working with the gentlemen all throughout the city. We got a lot of compliments on him. We want to really brag on our sanitation department after the Casey Jones Music Fest. Mr. McClure has kind of made it a policy among the Utilities Commission that we treat festivals and we treat events in the city just like on the sanitation side, just like you treat power outages on the electric side. It's something that everybody's prepared to come in on a weekend for and get the city back cleaned up and back rolling. And I think by 7 o'clock Sunday morning after that festival, the city was prim and proper and clean. And that's a good way to run a railroad. We're appreciative of that. We've been meeting with Three Rivers Solid Waste Authority. That's where we carry the garbage to look at different tricks of the trade, if you will, to try to find ways to increase efficiency and reduce cost. They're coming forward with a report to the commission to look at that on things that we can do. Some of it's going to be based on what we have to do regarding dumpsters and the dumpster fees and what it's actually the impact costs are in sanitation related to that. The one thing I would mention for you, and we don't have to take action on it tonight. I know y'all meet 2 times a month, so maybe we could do it later on this month. But I think there's an opportunity for a partnership here that would serve the citizens well, and of course, you know, cost sharing, we would pay for this service. But we're charged with picking up couches, mattresses, trash that is household of nature, not in a bag. If you ride around town, that stuff's piled up. I don't know that David Chandler says there's really not been a schedule in the past on how that has been done. Although it needs to be picked up and customers need to pay for it. I mean, there's going to be a billing if there's a huge cost incurred.
The city has to pay the county.
That's correct. The city has to pay the county to dump it at the landfill. And so obviously you've got to recover that cost related to it. So that's something that we just need to work together on because your street department's got the claw trucks picking up the limbs. That could be used for picking this up. One of the ideas that Mr. Chandler threw out to us was if we picked a day a week that the Utilities Commission we compensate for the truck or whatever we need to do. Maybe on Fridays, pick up those type of things, run around in the city to make sure all that stuff gets picked up. That's something we can work through together as I know we all want to. Last couple of items, and I promise I'll sit down. We're offering, we're doing our second round of training with the State Auditor's Office in May. Mainly because Mr. McClure is new and we've now got water and sewer and we want to and sanitation. We want to take those water, sewer, and sanitation employees, department heads through a one-day training with the State Auditor's Office, just like we did on electric. And we offer that open to anybody that would like to, any city department that would like to be involved in that. We usually do it up at base camp. It's a one-day ask questions, figure out what the right thing to do or who the right person to call is if you got a question. We'll be doing that in May. Also, all the commissioners will be going through a Tennessee Valley Public Power Association training course on May the 18th at Everest at the base camp conference room, just as the ABC's Basics of Electricity. That's something nobody's told us to do, but this is really a project sponsored by Commissioner Weeks. And it's a good thing for all of us to do. We intend to do that type of ongoing training, not being asked to do it or by law told to do it. It's something we want to do to make sure we're asking the right questions. If you've gone by the property of Tommy White's by Jack's, we began pulling out some of the old equipment and putting it out there ready to work with y'all, ever how you see fit and be helpful. I think we went ahead and moved some other things just to help everybody out and get room to work for the auction down there and the cleanup. We have also joined the Keep Mississippi Beautiful. A lot of the city sanitation departments are a part of that. We'll be sponsoring the first one of two annually. We adopted a community stewardship plan, 2 annual citywide cleanup days. So Alderman, you are the folks in your ward. If you want to organize teams, we're going to be running both garbage trucks on May the 2nd and have volunteers. We've got bags that'll be given out, safety vests, the little grabber things to get the litter, to try to start combating areas and get the trash picked up on the side of the road at least twice a year through this type of process, of which it's no cost outside of running the trucks and the employees. The material stuff is going to be free as a part of it. So I'll get a text individually to each of y'all if you want to help coordinate things. We've got folks that are willing to sponsor, cookouts and hamburgers and hot dogs, make it a fun day. Last thing, and this is maybe the biggest, this holds a big promise for all of us. And thank you again to the base camp people. This goes directly to them. We've experienced since August up until today a really, I'm going to be gentle and precise about this. We've had a very, very hard time related to the software needs that we have to properly do the work that has to be done, both in interfacing with the Tennessee Valley Authority, but also with just good government business operations. Miss Vivian has been a saint. I want you to know that clearly. There's been 1,000 things that she has gotten us that didn't. She could have said, that ain't my job. She never said that. And I want to publicly thank her for that. What we've seen in this process, though, is that technology in many cases, and I'm talking about just about the utility side, has just kind of passed by what our needs are. We went to our vendor to look at just basic revenue and expense like Ms. Vivian has on the BBI. They can't do it for electric. We'll be talking to BBI about it. It's going to be a year and another $75,000 to do it. That's just unacceptable in a day in which we've got to continue to be good stewards of money and all the other things that have to be done. So we thought, how can we fix this ourselves? And sitting in our city is a world-renowned software development camp in base camp, recognized around the country. And Ben Ifshin, who serves on the Parks Commission, came to the commission with a presentation that we pursue a $1.6 million grant that Google has out now that we filed for on Friday that would take a lot of the things that we're having to do manually, that take hours and, more importantly, money to do. And by using modern computing technology, and yes, artificial intelligence, but that's humanly checked afterwards. We sat at that table and looked at reports that take sometimes months to decipher and do, and we're able to complete those in right around 15 minutes. Just by simply unlocking modern technology. Now, we're not by any means saying we want to take something and let it lead us. We're arm in arm with it. But we appointed Mr. Ifshin as the Civic Technology Officer, free, not getting paid a dime, uncompensated, totally voluntary, to look at every process, from when our employees go out to do a job, are we documenting electronically for the future how many times we dug up that water line on XYZ Street? How many times have we been out to this one house with a problem? How many times have we done this or that? So that it builds a record, and it's a lot less paper intense. We feel good about our chances of getting the grant to do that. It will jump us light years ahead of where we need to be. We saw what in the ice storm using modern technology could do. And we just want to take that as a test set to go forward. So I hope I'll be back next time I see you to talk about that. I apologize for going on so long. I'll be glad to take your questions.
Okay. Let me first off, a couple things. one, I signed the authority to the $1.6 million grant, and I'd like somebody to make a motion ratifying my action in so doing.
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And there was a deadline, so, you know, it's just like getting money in other places.
And y'all aren't obligated a penny to any of that. It's just mainly supporting it. The grant will go to the Base Camp Coding Academy, but it has to have a government sponsor.
But, I mean, you know, and also, now we have an ongoing emergency, but it doesn't do us harm to, and it's gonna last, Daniel, a while, but we could extend the emergency, and I think that's generally a good thing to do in case some emergency occurs and for some reason we're not able to meet in time. Is there a motion that the emergency adopted for the ice be extended for a period of 30 days? Motion second is made. That'd be a local emergency. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. That's done. And, you know, as far as, one thing, Ben Ifshin is a member of our park commission. Is he a new dad yet?
No, it's about to be though, any day.
He's about to be.
I think any day.
Granddad is the senior United States federal judge, and I went to Ole Miss with him. But the thing about it, Ben's a great person, and he is. I'm glad he's helping us, and he doesn't have to. Now, as far as the money on the parks, that particular thing, you know, the $475,000 we got in the legislative appropriations in 22 and 26, that is going to get us down. Every penny of that was done by the legislative appropriation. Not a dime came from the treasurer of Water Valley. So we've got, I think, about 15,000 more to go. And Jesse back there has, and the other park commission members and civic commission members have good plans for that. And they've done new sound, new stage, and new curtain. Well, the curtains look new. And
the curtains are new, and we should be getting a quote on an upgraded lighting system within the next couple of weeks.
So we're cooking with gas on our civic, and the poles that you spoke of, that's coming. And I think there'll be more good news for the valley shortly.
Leave it at that.
That's what I was going to say. Let's leave it at that. But I think the valley's going to have some more good news, some substantial good news.
And the existing funds that we have, and I'll be glad to take your questions. We're giving consistently. I'm bugging her about a bank balance report, so I make sure we're looking at that. You know, we're trying to measure twice and cut once, understanding that you know, this has got a specific purpose. We want to stay within the rules, what it is. But for the money left over on the broadband, I think this week or next we will have our engineers and attorney are looking at how to sign a memo scope of work to expedite the expense of that. So there's about $596,000 left in there. We want to expedite that and get those funds spent. A lot of that's going to be pole replacement. A lot of that's going to be things related to that. But I can't begin to tell you, and I want to say thank you publicly for y'all's support of what we're doing. We've come a long way in a short time, and we got a long way to go, but it's a lot of marked progress. The things that we think will outlive all of us that are compressed into time.
Well, I tell you, the ice storm and the response, I think, of our utility workers and all the people that came in, the utility commission, I'll put them up against anybody in this state.
We couldn't do it without support around this table.
If not the best.
Thank y'all. Any questions for me, and I'll sit down.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Grant.
You mentioned that the utility, or the communication utilities had 30 days to get the wires off the ground.
That's right.
When was the start date for that 30 days?
They have yet to be notified. We're sending them a letter to get it done. We're going back to the pole attachment contracts that relate to it, and it's just one of those things that trying to get through some of this other stuff that has not been. But they've been informally on notice already that it's got to come out. One of the reasons that we wanted to identify everyone that's got something on it is twofold. One is to get the stuff cleaned up that's there, that's communication stuff down. Now look, to be honest with you, outside that pole attachment, we have no jurisdiction over that, no more than, you know, Santa Claus does or something. We don't have, but because we do have them on pole attachments, we can enforce that provision of the contract. The second thing is looking at those poles and knowing those attachments are there is a revenue item too, because they have to pay pole attachment fees. So we're looking at it twofold. Cool. Any other questions?
All right, any other questions? If not, we're gonna move along.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll have Carol Smith.
She had to leave and go back home, she said.
Okay, well, I understand. Next, we'll have Vanessa Kelly.
She called at 5 o'clock and she's not coming.
Okay.
She may come next time.
Elizabeth Smith.
I am binding you to your oath of office that you took to Almighty God to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, which is God first, people second, government last. You flipped the script on us. You only allow we the people to speak 5 minutes. He just took 30 minutes to talk. 30 minutes. Okay? This is not a newspaper. This is a propaganda paper. Let's call it PP paper for short. You might want to stock up on this for the next pandemic. I tried to put a notice in the paper, letter to the editor about what's going on here in Water Valley because they're doing some dirty stuff in the basement. We've got Megan Bacchus, who has purchased over 20 properties, I'm told, and going here in Water Valley. Calhoun Street, she voted, she's an unelected official appointed by these people here to do their bidding, to rezone, to spot zone. James McCormick, head of the unelected planning commission, didn't even know what spot zoning was. It's a violation of your own zoning laws. Overcrowding, doing a multifamily housing development in the church. Megan Bacchus bought multiple properties on Calhoun Street. This is going on not just here in Water Valley, but globally. They are going to eventually rezone the entire street and take the remaining properties by eminent domain. If you don't know what that means, look it up. Same thing was going on here. Not telling the public when Mr. Mobley and Raul were asking questions and the lack of transparency. Megan Bacchus bought up the house next to me under Wright's Place LLC, which is 300 Panola Street. It showed up on Zillow and then mysteriously disappeared. Wright's Place, remember old Wright's Grocery? She bought that lot. This is a direct conflict of interest. She's lining her own pocket for her family's profit and for this corporation. This is a corporation. The city of any town, any state, is a corporate for-profit organization. It's not for the people. They allow us, we the people, 5 minutes to speak in these meetings. This is supposed to be a public hearing. We, the people, are paying their salaries, and they have been so arrogant. I got hung up on more than once by the city clerk when I had to point out a mere fact that I had to fill out a form to get a 20-year-old zoning ordinance, not even available to the public on a website. And she was so offended that she hung up on me because I told her I didn't trust her. Why should we trust any governing body when they start suppressing the truth? PP paper. It's not a newspaper anymore. If it were a newspaper, it would be an unbiased documentation of what is going on. But there's some rats in a cellar that are doing some things behind our backs. And look at this one laughing. Arrogant. We're paying their salaries. You guys are borrowing money from the government that we have to pay back. Okay? Folks, we're funding our own demise if you don't get it. We are paying these people. These two people right here are profiting enormously from what they're doing on Calhoun Street, let alone what's going to happen to your street down the road. Who knows? Okay? So pay attention. And the devil uses symbolism too. Pay attention. Blue Devils football team. Look at the demonic emblem on the firefighter's uniform. It's the creepiest emblem I've ever seen of a devil. The devil uses symbolism. Okay? Pay attention. There are people in this room that are in the Just Us Club. There's no justice in this town anymore. It's the Just Us Club. And the people who pay these people's salaries are not in that club. Okay? Remember George Carlin? Yeah, he was right. Because it is a for-profit organization, and Demetrius Ingram, District 2, told me point blank, they are going to do what's in the best interest for the city, not the people. Okay? And I saw this thing coming with Brandon Presley. First the electric, then he wants the water, then he wants, it's going to be total control, because that's what it's all about. It's all about money and control.
Well, I'm sorry,
At
ma'am,
our
but your 5 minutes is up, and you've exceeded it 5 minutes.
5 minutes is up for
That's
the
right.
public in a public hearing.
No, we've got an agenda
their
with 23
Just
items.
Us Club
Now,
can
let's
talk for
move
half
on.
an
The next
hour.
item is going to be
Yeah,
Will
you see,
Carter.
just
You're recognized.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
I'm not here to hear you. I'm here to hear the city do its business.
And we're going to do our business.
Because we are the people
Will,
paying
you're
your
recognized.
salaries,
Ma'am,
and you don't
you've had
give
your
a
time.
flip about
You've
it.
had your time. And that's the legislature, you have 5 minutes. That's the
Okay,
rule,
God,
and it's
God help you,
Congress,
because
you
you lied
have
to Almighty
one.
God. God help you. Each and every one of you, you lied.
Here's what we've
All right.
accomplished.
So
Just want to bring that list to y'all.
All right, let's go ahead.
I'm passing the list around. This is what we've gotten done in the past 6 months or so on properties that have dilapidated houses, dilapidated vehicles, junk in the yard, that sort of thing. And I've got more. I know you love a picture. I should pass the whole thing. I think Miss Vivian sent y'all the list already. Those are just the pictures from the list. It's a bunch, I know.
Want to just get some of them started on both sides.
It's a bunch.
Before and after?
You want?
Two pictures of before and after?
No, that's the same picture. These are new ones that I'm bringing. One was just closer.
All right, so the pictures that you're passing around are new properties that
New
you're asking?
properties, yes.
Okay.
So these are the dilapidated vehicles, mostly. There's a couple of.
Out of the properties that we've already identified and we've sent demand letters to, approximately how many have already voluntarily, after they received the demand letter voluntarily, demolished or removed their buildings?
12, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
We're down to 11 left on the list. We started with 33. Some of them fix them themselves, some of them tore them down.
You try to work with them if at all possible.
All the addresses are on the bottom of them. I couldn't fit it on the picture.
Oh.
My bad.
No, that's fine. I thought it was where it was, and it was. Will, anything else?
Yeah, I just need these if y'all.
We can put these as an addendum to the minutes of the.
Yeah, that's
board
all
meeting.
I'm asking for, is just to put them in the minutes so we can.
Acknowledge that these were, let's do an acknowledgement that these photographs were received, and acknowledge the receipt of the report of Will Carter.
Second that motion.
All right, all in favor say aye. All right, it is done. All right, next.
If Mayor, the other thing that Mr. Carter was going to bring up tonight was when we passed in January the permit fees for the city, there were several of the items that had a base fee, and it said that there was a base fee of, but it didn't have what it would be, in addition to. So we knew what the base fee was, but we didn't know, well, if a large company comes and does a complete remodel, say one of our grocery stores, it wouldn't be a base fee. So Mr. Carter found this himself, and so he went back through and he's asked us to add a couple of, so on a temporary structure, it's a $200 base fee per structure. So if you have more than one temporary structure, it'd be $200 plus $200 for each structure. And then structural placement is per structural placement. Electrical system is plus $1 per ampere service. And then mechanical systems, it's $75 a base fee, and then it's per unit. And then for plumbing and gas and sewer systems, it's a base fee of $75 plus $3 per opening to be inspected. And you feel that this would adequately reflect surrounding municipalities'
Wouldn't be higher.
structure?
We're definitely still low.
Okay, well,
But
that's close.
we're on track.
He would like y'all to consider making that amendment.
You're talking about if somebody that
correct
has
these.
10,000, they, and somebody that has 500, you're evening it out to, okay.
Can we get those sent to us to review and we vote on it?
Sure.
In a couple weeks.
Okay, well then that'll be done and it'll be voted on at the next board meeting. Okay, is that in time? Or if not, if we have a special meeting for some reason, we'll probably possibly include it in there. But we may or may not. Now, all right, we'll take care of it. I will say, far as we're on MEMA, I have just gotten word that the governor has signed Bill 1646. So Daniel,
Yes.
let's get our paperwork ready. Let's get things done. And there's a limited amount, and we need to get our share. And we've gotten, if you think about it, the property tax in Water Valley is yielding less than $100,000, less than $1 million a year, and we've gotten that back every year. For the last 3-4 years, we've gotten.
But don't print that in the paper. We want someone in Jackson to see it.
No, we don't. But we appreciate help, and we want to help others, and we all got to work together and have a good state and area. Now, and I need your permission to sign the public assistance through MEMA. Of course, we need public assistance through MEMA. Is there a motion and second that I be authorized that this be authorized to be done? All right, Olivia, I'm signing this thing. I guess all voted aye. Now that gets that. will you? I need to sign this. Well, that's a reporting. I'm signing.
I'll look at it good
I
tomorrow.
haven't signed it yet on that, but I really am serious about getting this down there like now, you know,
Yes,
that,
sir.
as soon as we can, Danny. Now, the debris agreement, we've got a, well, let's talk about the insurance proposals, blanket insurance proposals. Item 19. Didn't we have any?
Well, we just said we want to get permission to solicit.
Oh, yes, we have permit, oh, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
what it was.
We need permission to solicit for insurance quotes and proposals on, and this could be a money-saving, Mr. Presley, this could be a money-saving event. And so this would be blanket insurance proposals for, we're not talking about health insurance, but we're talking about other.
Or like it was just like the regular type
That's
thing.
correct, the regular insurance, and try to see what proposals we can get. We might be able to save some money, may not, but we can try it.
And Mayor, I can get to Ms. Vivian on this, but for water, sewer, and electricity, there are actually some state trade organizations that offer insurance for those specific utilities that might get that down even more, pull them out. We'll work that out with her.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, is there a motion that this be approved? Second.
Second.
All in favor will say aye, and we do need to get that out quickly. I've got a debris agreement, ratified the debris agreement, and we need this in order to, let me see that video. He's got it. Yeah. Now, this is the notice of,
Sale on the land.
yeah, we looked at earlier. We've done
I don't know
that.
that I
We've
have
done
that in
that.
here.
Well, at any rate, this would be a ratifying agreement with the, that we, you know, they were the lowest bid, yeah, Lynchburg Service was the lowest bid, and it rated out, so it, and I've signed it, so I ask for your ratification of it.
Make that motion.
Second.
That's it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Vivian, let's do that. Next, we've done the emergency order of extension. There is an Allied Group lease option for renewal and extension, item 22.
Yes, sir. So some of y'all may remember that Allied Group, which we're very grateful to have in our city, leases a commercial building from us, which is near Solero. It's across the street, and they've been doing so for many years now. And we have entered into an extension, and I believe it was the beginning of 2025 for 3 years, so it was the end of 24. And so that runs through the end of 2028. They have requested that we go ahead and enter into a pen agreement with them for an additional 3-year extension, an option for an additional 3-year extension after 2028, because they are in discussions, and he didn't.
Discussions about possible, I believe, enhancement of their
infrastructure, and
facility
they don't want to do so
employment.
if it's just going to be short term.
Yeah.
A year and a half left on their current lease. They want to know that they're
Sort
going
of
to have
like
that year and a half
living
plus.
farmland. If you get a multi-year lease, you can pay a lot more because you improve the land.
Yeah,
Same
fertilizer
thing.
and water. And, yeah,
Got it.
so, yeah, so they would, they were, I told him we were meeting tonight. I'd pitch it to you guys, and if you approve it, I'll go ahead and get us a draft together, and then we can go ahead and get that submitted for him to review. That way, when I come back,
They've got some potential.
That's right.
Of doing some things.
when we come back our second meeting, we can hopefully have that finalized between us and Allied for y'all to review and approve.
Is there a motion that be approved? Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Next, we've got Faith Baptist Church about an unopened right-of-way.
Y'all asked that I go and look at that. It was, Lord love me, I forget the name of the street that's unopened, but right, it's Eckford Street that it runs adjacent to, but it was.
It runs through Faith property. Does it run through?
Yes, sir.
There's no other, so when a city ceases to be a street, and it goes back to the property owners, they split it half. But if you have but one property owner, they get it all.
Right.
And this is not used for a city street.
No, sir. In fact, we have the old railroad right away behind it, which is still owned by the city. So there's.
We're keeping that.
Correct, right. So there's
Walking
really
trail and everything.
nobody is landlocked. Nobody is impacted by this abandonment. No one's using it as a thoroughfare. In fact, the church, through whatever decision making they made, built a CAC hall on it about 15 or 20 years ago. So there's been a big old building on top of it for about 15 years.
Well, and you cannot adversely possess against the sovereign.
No, but it's clear that we've not been using it. So
now, it'd be a wrong thing.
I believe Nicole said they approached her about asking us to respectfully declare that it's no longer needed for municipal purposes, and we declare it abandoned.
Well, counties do it differently, but you have to have a hearing with boards of supervisors do it. I don't think you have to do that with a municipality.
No, sir. Our statute is much short and sweeter to the point.
Yeah, well, with counties, we have to do 2 advertisements, and then we have a public hearing, and all that. But this, is there a motion that that a resolution be adopted embracing the findings that it is not used for public usage, and that no one will be deprived of a right of an ingress and egress to their property by this transaction, and that it's in the best interest of the people of Water Valley that it be done? All right, is there a motion? Is there a second? Discussion. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Now, next thing, they've asked to go in executive session on the Public Works Director. We've got 4.
I was remiss.
We got something else.
Yes, sir. Mr. Benny Taylor with the auction company that we hired.
Yeah.
I sent him notification that we approved the contract. He looked at it again, and he sent back a list of questions, and so I want to just ratify those questions. He said that he would like to incorporate in our agreement that he's going to auction it off subject to an agreement between us and whoever is the highest bidder. And so he wants to have that beforehand, of course, which of course the bidder's going to see.
We want the highest bidder to get it.
Right. So the time allowed for cleanup and removal of debris, I believe 60, that was one of his questions. I think 60 days would be reasonable. Okay. The bond amount required by the city to ensure cleanup is completed, I was thinking $100,000.
I mean, what are you talking about?
The chicken plant removal.
Oh,
Not the whole thing, but of course what we've
You said auction.
identified.
I thought you were talking about that auction down there.
Well, so they're going to use the same company with a similar contract, but it's not identical.
Well,
Yes, sir.
You talk about, okay, a bond.
Up to $100,000.
Yeah, I know, that could be,
Well, how much money?
that would limit your scope of bidders, but it would ensure that you'd have somebody to actually do it. So, that's a
You
trade-off.
can waive it, but
No,
I don't think it's prudent.
I don't think it's prudent.
And
That'd be
then liability insurance coverage and certificate the purchaser must provide, I'm thinking just a minimum of $1 million.
A standard, it's about the same for $1 million and $100,000.
And then, of course, I'll work with Chief on the precise description of the exact buildings, which we've already discussed in groups. We won't go over that. And then the concrete slab is to be removed or left in place, and the chief
I will
will just
say
leave the
that,
slab.
yeah.
It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, that'd probably
More.
be cheaper.
So if y'all approve that, then I'll draft that up and we'll have the mayor sign that contract with Mr. Taylor, if y'all could approve that contract.
And since we're talking about
With those
concrete
terms in.
slabs, let's work on the Pocket Park concrete slab. We'll work on that and get some ideas on that. And all our city departments can work together. If ours can't do it, maybe yours can, and we can all work together. Join hands.
Everybody's got
and
erosion
work
troubles.
together. You got it. You can't, if nobody gets out alive.
On the chicken plant thing, Daniel, just real quick question, because we are doing some stuff now.
moving old transformers are gonna be, that are out of commission, they're gonna be tested, sent off. Is that, Mark, is that just the big building for this? We don't wanna put stuff in
And the one
that to
behind
do it
it.
again. Okay.
The L-shaped building right behind.
We just need to
want
kind of coordinate, but I just wanna make sure we don't put stuff in somebody
Right, well, the
else's.
good stuff we want to keep.
Yeah, we're keeping approximately, I believe, 7 of those large metal warehouses, buildings, which are in good shape.
We don't wanna put stuff
Good
somewhere
roofs.
y'all don't want it, we just, we're just trying to.
Well,
I don't know
I think it's
We can talk about that.
if it work.
Huh?
If you don't want to bid it out.
No, that's right, yeah, we don't want,
Well, no, but, okay, well, we've got that, and hopefully we'll get some bids on it, and if we don't, we'll do something else.
We have a motion and a second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, next, we have, and this is what I would propose on this, is we've got 4 applications for Public Works Director. I would request that we allow the clerk to make copies of those, and that we email it to every board member, and that y'all study them according to qualifications, and then that we have an opportunity to meet with each of the persons that has been thoughtful enough to submit an application. Just as we did when we selected the deputy city clerk, I think that's a critical thing for us to meet with these folks, and that at the meeting we, each person be given an opportunity to come before the board and meet with the board. And so I really don't know that we need to get into discussion tonight, but I do think that we need a process. We need first to acknowledge that we've received these. Is there a motion that we acknowledge receipt of these applications? Motion, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Now, as far as the procedure, would it be agreeable with this body if we could get a date, for example, in the very close future, not, but give you time to look over them, but within maybe a week or so, or whenever, that we could do it, and that we could have these people and meet with them just as we did the other. Does that seem to be an agreeable disposition of this matter?
I agree.
Are there any opposition to doing that?
So we're going to probably opening these and making copies for everyone.
Yes, please open every one of them and make copies and get them to everyone's email. And, we will, and I think that's entirely proper. And that would be, but we want to make sure that everyone is given their opportunity to be heard by the board. And I'll be there too. So, so let's do
21st
that.
for a meeting again.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
should do it then.
That's what we should do it on the 21st, because that'll give us.
We don't need no more special meeting.
Yeah.
well, unless we need them, unless we have to. We'll always have to do what we have to do. But this is one thing that we do need, we do need that field, and so I would say that we could do that and then read them, and then let's be in a position to make some careful considerations or decisions at that time, after hearing everyone, and then having a good discussion. All right, is there any further business to come before this body? If not, I'm going to recognize someone for a motion that we adjourn. That's what you call it here. Second. Motion second, rise and report. All in favor will say aye. Aye. All opposed?
As a hometown bank, Bank First is proud to offer top-notch banking products with perks that support local businesses and people who support their communities. We believe our towns, no matter the size, deserve the best products and the best customer service, an experience we all deserve. We're hometown banking at its best. Do you bank with us? You should.
The City of Water Valley Monthly Board Meeting, sponsored by Bank First of Water Valley.